Kutztown Live. KUR's campus and community interest radio magazine. You can always be a part of Kutztown Live by giving us a call at 610-683-4859. And now, this is Kutztown Live.
Yes, it is. Good afternoon. Mike Greggs here on Kutztown Live on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Kutztown Live, KU and the community's campus and community issues talk radio magazine, airing each and every Tuesday at 2 o'clock here on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR, and every other Tuesday, of which one this is. I temporarily turned the microphone over to a guest host, that being Lori from the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce. And she brings in a guest as well, oftentimes a member of the chamber, to talk a little bit about them and themselves as well. So, Lori, welcome to the show. And how's things going these first few days of fall?
Good afternoon, Mike. We are working on our fall schedule, and I will be starting today with an announcement of some upcoming events that would be of interest not only to our members, but also to the community.
Okay.
Coming up on October 4th, that's next Thursday, we're very proud to have been invited to participate in a program that's produced by Pennsylvania Cable Network in Harrisburg. They have a series of programs called Exploring PA Boroughs, and there will be a special focus on Kutztown that's already been filmed, and as I said, will be aired on October 4th. That's next Thursday at 7:30 p.m., so check your cable listings for PCN. Not only will the chamber be featured, but also a number of local businesses, including Radius Toothbrush and Spasto Interactive, as well as some nonprofits like Kutztown Community Partnership, the Kutztown Area Historical Society, and the Kutztown Community Library. So please tune in for that program. Also coming up in October, we have 2 mixers for members and their guests. The first one will be held on October 10th in Muhlenberg Township. That'll be hosted by Carrie Whitmoyer. She was a guest here recently with me, and that is the MSC Sisters. And that mixer and tour of the villa is available at no cost. There'll be refreshments, and you'll get a better understanding of the mission of the MSC Sisters. A week later, Tompkins Vist, the Blandon branch, which is out here on 222 behind CVS. Connie Worley, who is the branch manager and does business development there, will be hosting a mixer from 5 till 7 p.m. on the 16th, and all of our members and their guests are invited. So we look forward to those 2 upcoming events. We just had a very successful monthly breakfast on Friday, and our next one will be held on October 19th. And our speakers for that meeting will be Dan Richards from Berks County Intermediate Unit and George Fiore, who's the superintendent of Kutztown Area School District. And the topic for that breakfast will be Career Ready Berks, and that will be held at the Lutheran Home at Topton. For more information about these events and all of our other programs and networking activities, visit our website at northeastberkschamber.com. Now we'll move on to the interview portion of our show today. I'm very pleased to introduce Robin Costenbader Jacobson. She has been a member of the chamber. Robin, it's been 3 years this month when I checked. I couldn't believe it. It's been 3 years already. She's been actively engaged in the chamber in a number of ways, including conducting a women's roundtable back in 2016. And she was also one of our panelists here at Kutztown University during Entrepreneurship Week in March of 2017. And of course, she has attended many of our events and also helped to recruit some additional members. Robin is the principal of RCJ Consulting Associates in Reading, PA. So, Robin, I welcome you to Kutztown Live, and we're excited to hear about what you do and what you're doing right now.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this time with me at KU. I really always enjoy being on the campus and driving here and thinking about Sorelli jewelry.
Yes, of course.
So I'm going to try not to head there afterwards.
Okay.
But, right now, as the developer and founder of RCJ Consulting Associates, it was a career that I started following a number of things that I've done. Sometimes I think of myself as an opportunist. Things have come along fortunately at the right time, or something came along that challenged me, I started my career in nursing, and I went back to college after that. I have a degree in political science and a degree in psychology, and I've served as the CEO of a nonprofit. I just realized this month it's been, I want to say, 7 years that I tendered my resignation to Junior Achievement of Greater Reading and the Lehigh Valley, teaching kids how business works. And I started when I knew there was something more that I wanted to do than what I was doing. I felt like I served that purpose, and we met our goals with the organization, and I decided I wanted to move on and become a coach. And so in doing so, I started a number of groups that I refer to as mastermind groups, although each one has its own name. The members decide what they want to call themselves. And I developed those because when I had been a client of a coach, I had been involved in a mastermind group, and I discovered that it was really a great way to bring like-minded people together and give them an opportunity to work with one another, and also to sharpen their own business and personal skills, to create action plans, and have the mastermind members themselves act as peer coaches and hold them accountable to meet their goals. It allows people to develop a sense of shared endeavor, that there are other people out there that are looking for perhaps a change or self-improvement, or have goals in leadership or growth. So those are some of the things I've been involved in my career that have led me to where I am right now. And of course I do individual coaching, because running the mastermind groups, I realized that I wanted to do more one-on-one. And so I became a certified coach about 5 years ago.
Let me ask you about the mastermind groups for a minute. If someone who's listening today is interested in participating in one of your groups, what's the process by which they become involved?
Well, I do have a website if somebody wants to go on and take a look at what the mastermind groups encompass. And my website is rcjconsulting.net, so www.rcjconsulting.net, or I can be emailed directly at consultant, with a T, consultantrcj@gmail.com.
Robin, you talked about one-on-one consulting. Give us some examples of ways in which you've worked with people, either on a professional or personal level.
Well, a couple of things. You know, I often tell people when they're thinking about coaching, and why would you hire a life or a business coach? I am. Those two little words, they're really the most powerful words, because what you put after them becomes your reality. So are you happy with I am, whatever you fill in the blank with, or are you looking forward to perhaps changing what you fill in the blank with? So I teach, of course, you know I teach Lori Adjunct. So
Yes.
I coach people in a variety of ways. Some are personal, working through a situation. Many are business or profession related. I had a woman recently who was working an hour away from home, and she was making a very, very good income, but she really wanted to be able to stay where she worked in the Berks County area. So how, after 20-some years, was she going to make that shift, still maintain that income, and be in a profession, in a job that she really enjoyed? So it all worked out great for her. There's a process that I use when people are job searching and networking, and that's one situation or one client. I'm currently working with a few CEOs, and again, it's that matter of looking at yourself and being held accountable. because when you work with a coach, you move from where you are to where you want to be. It allows you to develop self-regulation, and it assists you in being responsible to yourself, because we all have dreams and goals and opportunities, but a lot of times it's tough to push yourself there, especially when you feel or you create things that stand in your way, which is often the case. You know, maybe we're looking for perfection through work-life balance. And I always tell clients, really, there is no such thing as perfection, and everybody's definition of perfection is different.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, you have so many valuable skills in terms of just looking at job seeking. I mean, I know today, just from personal firsthand experience, as well as the experiences of many of my friends and associates, we're in a time now where people who are into their 50s might be, you know, restructured out of their jobs.
Yes.
I know that in the chamber, you know, we have 60% of our membership as small business owners or solo entrepreneurs. A majority of those are women, and a majority of those women are coming into, self-employment, entrepreneurship after having worked decades at other corporate jobs, for example. And perhaps they lost their job, or they've always had a desire to do this, whatever this is, this new business, and they've decided to do that. But that's not an easy decision for people to make sometimes.
Not at all.
And so I think it helps to have someone who's unbiased, like yourself, a coach, to help you work through whatever the opportunities are to make something happen. I mean, that example you gave is a great one. Well,
it reminds me. I had another client, a gentleman that always worked global his whole career. And he's in his early 40s, but he's a growing family. And his wife works in this community. So it came down to, what can I do, again, where I'm making the kind of income I'm making, and I'm not working all over the world, not just all over the country, but all over the world. And again, we worked through that. And it's amazing when you really focus on something and yourself, which we all tend to want to neglect or put people before us or ahead of us, that sometimes we push our needs out of the way. And in reality, I tell people, you really can serve others and be there for others the best, the most, give of yourself the most, when you are self-prepared, when you're where you want to be. And that worked out for him. He's doing really great in the community and is becoming well-known, very much liked, and it was a win-win for him to go into coaching.
Yeah, that's great advice. Now, we also know that you are the producer and host of Greater Reading Public Eye.
Yes.
I was a guest on that program. And you also produce a podcast. Why don't you tell us about those two platforms?
Well, BCTV, and if anybody would like to look at the show, it is called Greater Reading Public Eye, and you can go online and pull up BCTV and put in under search Greater Reading Public Eye, and it'll pull up the entire series, and you can click on that and take a look. It's also offered through YouTube. I started that show also about between 6 and 7 years ago, because I really love bringing people from within the community, whether they serve behind or in front of the scenes, or a lot of times both, to introduce them to our community so that people on watching BCTV, which we refer to as home viewers, get to know these individuals. So they see the face that goes with the name oftentimes that they've heard about or read about. And it's a great opportunity to share what's going on within our community with the home viewers by interviewing these individuals. I also started about 4 years ago, as you mentioned, the podcast series. It's called Owning Your Power. One of the things I learned probably back in the very early 90s from Judge Linda Ludgate, and she's been speaking in the community lately, and many of us have had that great opportunity and gift to hear her most recently speak. But she once, there was an organization in the Berks County area called Berks Women's Network, And I remember she was a member at the same time I was, and she spoke at one of our meetings, and she talked all about power. And she said that so many times people, and this isn't gender biased or specific at all, that so many people choose to give up their power, and there's always somebody out there that will willingly take it, and once somebody takes it and you give it away, you're not going to get it back. So
Right.
I never forgot those words. It made a lot of sense. So when it comes to making a decision or making a choice or doing something, you should enable yourself and realize the ability that you have right in front of you when you utilize your power.
Right. That's a very valid philosophy.
But that is a coaching series that I do, and it can be found on iTunes, again, under Owning Your Power.
Robin, why don't you let us know again how anyone can get in touch with you or reach you if they're interested in learning more about mastermind groups or having a coaching experience with you.
That's great. Thank you. Again, my email address is consultantrcj@gmail.com. That's consultantrcj@gmail.com. Or my website is www.rcjconsulting.net.
Thank you so much, Robin.
Thank you, Lori. Again, it's really been a treat. I always love spending time with you. I've been so busy, I don't see enough of you the last couple of many months, so thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
And I want to thank you so much for being a part of the show as well. And
Thank you.
also, just so you know, and to our listeners know, all these interviews are podcasted. So within 24 hours, if you missed anything or want to go back and listen once again to our special guests, feel free to go to kutztown.edu/KUR and click on podcasts. Thank you so much, ladies. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank
See you in
you.
2 weeks.
Okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Like KUR, an award-winning radio station, on Facebook to receive exciting daily content delivered straight to your newsfeed. You'll discover diverse music, breaking news, and engaging student DJ content. Visit facebook.com/KUR1670 to join the fun. Remember to use hashtag KURadio on social media. We are the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
Do you see that doggy in the shelter?
Hi, I'm Buddy, the adorable puppy you adopted from the Humane Society.
Meow. I'm Whiskers, a fluffy kitty, just waiting for someone to love me.
When you adopt a pet, we hope your new furry friend will become a cherished member of your family. And as Buddy and Whiskers will tell you, the key to success is following the rules to love by.
Woof, that's right. Please give me food, water, and exercise every day. To stay healthy, I need the same kind of things you need.
Talk to me. I like hearing your voice.
You're my best friend. Please don't stay mad at me or lock me up as punishment. Remember, I'm probably going to live 10 to 15 years, so take care of me when I get old.
One day you'll need someone to take care of you, too.
A message from the Montgomery County Humane Society. Visit www.mchumane.org for the complete rules to love by.
Be your best friend for life.
Hi, this is Officer Bob Bickham from the Reading Police Department. My department will be joining in nighttime operations to enforce Pennsylvania's seatbelt law and crack down on impaired drivers. These types of crashes contribute to hundreds of injuries and fatalities each year. Remember, your seatbelt is your first line of defense against impaired drivers. Click it or ticket, day and night, 2 tickets, 2 fines.
I had a sore in my mouth that just wouldn't go away. And after a couple of weeks, I went to my doctor.
A sore, lump, or thick patch in your mouth or throat could be a symptom of oral cancer.
My doctor told me I was smart to come in. He said that oral cancer is more common in African American men than in any other group in the U.S. It turns out I did have oral cancer, but it was caught early and my treatment was successful. I'm glad I got it checked. That probably saved my life.
If you're an African American man, you need to know about oral cancer. Visit a doctor or dentist if you see changes in your mouth that don't go away after 2 weeks. It's important to get an oral cancer exam, because if you do have cancer, the earlier it's caught, the better. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, National Institutes of Health.
Hi, I'm Seth Shostak, and I'm an actual scientist, although I don't wear a white lab coat.
Maybe a straitjacket. I'm Molly Bentley. I'm a science journalist, and we are your hosts on Big Picture Science, bringing you the latest from the labs every week.
And if we don't make you slap your knee along the way, I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
So join us here, Mondays at 5 p.m.
for Big Picture Science.
The hottest and the coolest in science and technology.
So think big. Big Picture Science.
Mondays at 5, the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
Back we are here on Kutztown Live on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. If you're just tuning in, you missed our special biweekly guest, Lori, from the Northeast Berks Chamber, and her special guest this week. Within 24 hours, you can catch that interview once again on our website. Just go to the podcasts link of our website, kutztown.edu/KUR. All right, welcome back to Kutztown Live. We are into the second segment of the show, and I have a special guest, a man who's been on the show several times before, so I guess we can call him an old pro of sorts. Local musician, educator, you name it, this guy does it all. Keith Brintzenhoff, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am wonderful and getting better. How are you, Mike?
I see you got the Penn State hat on. So
I do, yes. I call it a conversation starter.
That's always a conversation starter. You're a wise man. There you go. Especially around these areas, everybody loves Penn State. Okay, well, first of all, for anybody new to the show that hasn't heard you before or new to the area, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, well, my name is Keith Brintzenhoff.
Okay.
Sometimes I say that's Irish. We drop the O.
There you go. There you go.
But, anyway, I grew up in the area, and I live in Kutztown.
Okay.
And I've been involved in music, teaching, and Pennsylvania drum stuff my entire life.
Awesome.
So I was one of the founders of the Lions Fiddle Festival, which is the biggest best fiddle festival in eastern Pennsylvania.
Very huge, yeah.
And I'm the music coordinator, MC, and band leader. And I started teaching Pennsylvania German language, culture, and music again a few years ago for the Berks County Heritage Center.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is my third year teaching Pennsylvania German language, culture, and music as a 3-credit course at, believe it or not, Kutztown University.
There you go. So you're a professor here. Excellent.
Yep. And it's down at the schoolhouse at the Heritage Center, and we just had Hammett Fest this past weekend. So
yes, you did.
That went really well.
Yeah.
So those are my main interests outside of being married and having 2 wonderful children who are grown up and out of the house, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so you're a busy man.
I are.
Now, you're here today, Keith, to talk about the Kutztown Folk Music Society and some of the great events that you guys got coming up in the coming weeks and months. Talk a little bit about the Kutztown Folk Music Society.
Okay, we started about 16, 18 years ago.
Okay.
I was one of the founders. I'm the only original guy left. And we had our concerts at St. John's UCC in Kutztown, but over the years we've gotten a bunch of comments and complaints and suggestions and ideas, so it finally worked out. We are switching venues this year for the first time. We will be out at Janelle's Restaurant, which is in Bowers, just outside of Lyons, where the Fiddle Festival is.
I know where that is, yeah.
And we have a board of volunteers, and we get local, regional, and sometimes national acts. Have a big variety of acoustic instruments and a big variety of types of music. So as you can see from looking down the calendar, and it changes every year.
Yep.
And we have people that come back and new ones every year. So it's always fun and interesting.
So it basically looks like you have an event once a month and always in that, first half to mid part of the month. Looks like it's that's pretty accurate to say, right?
Yeah, it's always the second Friday of the month. Unless that falls on, Christmas Eve, which
a major
never happens,
holiday or something,
or
right?
New Year's Eve, which never happens, but Easter occasion is Good Friday, then we switch it. And we'll have one exception this year, as you can see. The second one is on a Monday.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that this guy is from Ohio, Ted Yoder, and he has another job in the area on Friday night, but this is his second time here. His first time here, I couldn't make it, but about 5-6 years ago, he recorded We Are the World on hammered dulcimer, posted it on Facebook. It got over 1 million hits.
Wow.
So this guy's good, and he really wanted to come back again. And I said, well, it's Friday night. I said, well, can you change it? Well, I'll see. He said, I have 75 people on my list that want to come hear me. Okay, we can do that.
And for somebody who got 1 million hits on YouTube, you got to give him some leeway, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And when I said hammered dulcimer, probably most people listening don't have a clue what it is.
Right. Well, why don't you tell us?
But it is a string instrument. It's kind of trapezoidal shaped or lamp shaped, and it has 40, 56 running across it, side to side.
Okay.
Usually 3, sometimes 4 in a chorus, they're called. And each chorus is a note. So usually it's tuned do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, in that order, up, and higher notes and lower notes. And you play it with little mallets or hammers. That's why it's called a hammered dulcimer.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. So that's Ted Yoder. He's going to be Monday, November 12th.
Right.
You got an event before that,
yep.
Friday, October 12th,
right.
Just exactly a month prior and only about 20 days away.
Right.
Russ Rentler, tell us a little bit about him.
Russ is an old friend of mine. He was actually a family medical doctor, MD. And he's an excellent musician, excellent entertainer. And he has a strange sense of humor, almost as strange as mine.
That's okay.
That's one reason I like him. But anyway, about, not so long ago, 3-4 years ago, he retired, quit his medical profession, so he could play music.
Okay. That
took a big step.
That's a change.
Especially considering he was married with children.
Wow.
And he's still married with children.
I was going to say, yeah, is he still married after that?
But he's such a good guy. He's made, I forget how many, 8, 10, 12 trips to... Puerto Rico? No, Haiti. To Haiti, donates his medical services for free. So he's a really good guy. Yep.
Good man, yes.
Yep.
And then Ted Yoder, as I said, in November.
Right.
Alf Bayshore, or is that pronouncing that correctly? Bashore?
Right, no, Bayshore.
Bayshore is correct.
He's actually retired a couple years ago. He was a male nurse up at Geisinger Medical Hospital.
Okay.
And he's an old friend of mine also. And he plays the other dulcimer, which is a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Lap strummed, plucked Appalachian dulcimer, which is, I know nobody listening will know this.
It's okay.
It's the only musical instrument in the world invented and developed by the Pennsylvania Dutch in this area.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and I do a lot of programs about that. In fact, some group connected with Eckhouse downtown,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to be doing a whole program about that and other instruments and Pennsylvania music sometime in November, I think it is. So I look forward to that.
So he'll be there Friday, December 14th.
Yep.
And then we're already into the new year. Where did 2018 go? 2019, January 11th, the free read. So that sounds like a full group there.
Well, it sounds like it, but it's only 2 guys.
2 guys? Okay.
Yeah. Now, Court Purcell, the Purcell family is all musical. Their specialty was Irish music. Their dad is an old friend of mine, Ken. Corey and his brother grew up with Irish music, and they learned step dancing. And they went to the National Step Dancing Competition, and the best they did was 17th.
Mm.
But that's out of over 300 entries.
So that's excellent. Yeah.
Out in a national competition, yeah. So, and they do a lot of Irish music. He has an Irish group also, but he wanted to try something new, so he has a buddy that plays a button box accordion. So they're going to have a duo. That's why they call themselves Free Reeds.
Very nice. Then Valentine's Day just so happens to fall on that day. It's February 14th. Charlie Zame, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Zam,
okay.
Charlie Zam. And Charlie Zam is one of the best known historical and Celtic musicians. He's from down near Philly. He tours a lot. He runs annual trips to Scotland. And he does historical songs, he does Celtic songs, he does maritime songs, he does other songs like that. And he plays guitar and sings. He is one of 2 people in 15 years, I've had to turn the microphones down at
Oh.
St. John's because he has such a booming voice. He has about 15, 20 CDs, and it's really well known in those fields.
Nice. All right. And then March 8th, Linda Russell.
Yeah, this is really unusual. Linda Russell worked for the National Park Service.
Okay.
She was the official musician in New York City.
Okay.
For the National Park Service.
New York City National Park Service.
Yeah.
Those are two things you don't really put back to back.
For like 20, 25 years. And she plays
Yeah.
a few different instruments, including mountain dulcimer, and there's some really neat old historical songs.
All right, so she's on March 8th. And then, okay, next, I know who these guys are.
You better.
I know who these guys are. I used to work with the main gentleman long time ago. Eastside Dave Trio with, of course, the famous Dave Klein.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about those guys for anybody who doesn't know.
Well,
April 12th.
I contacted him for the last couple of years, and he has, as you know, he's involved in about 5 million different projects.
Oh, that guy's got so much on his plate. I don't know how he handles it all.
I don't either. It's no one. He's probably putting on weight from having so much on his plate.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
But yeah, he's one of my best friends also, and a co-conspirator. We perform together a lot. But I figured, he'd get his regular trio, but he wanted to be experimental, so he's putting together two different kinds of musical trios on the same night there.
I see that.
So that'll be interesting.
So it's Dave Klein and the Hex Highway Rangers, and then Bracken, a group dedicated to presenting Celtic folk music and a fusion of Irish, Scottish, and Appalachian mountain music. That covers it all.
It does.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
That'll be a fun one, April 12th. And then you wrap up the series on May 14th with Castle Bay.
Right. And this is after, being around for many, many years. We get many emails out of the blue from, we'd like to play there, so on and so forth. And some of them are big names. Well, we're just a little group, yada, yada, yada. But this group looked interesting. As you're reading that, you can see, and they're not from the area. They said, well, the day before or the day after, I forget which, we'll be in such and such a place. That's only a 2.5-hour drive. So acoustic musicians, you got to take what you can. And
2.5 hours is nothing to a musician. Yeah,
right,
wherever they got to go.
So there'll be something new, a two-piece group. So I'm looking forward to that, and that'll end our series. So we go October through May.
And all performances start at 7:30 on those nights. Like you said, most of them are on a Friday, except for that one exception on Monday, November 12th.
Right.
$7 donation to get in the door. $5 with a student ID, so that's great. So KU students can get in for $5, and if you happen to be 12 or under, you're free. So
that's right. That's right.
Or you can buy for $40. You can cover all 8 concerts.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a good deal. And like I said, we moved to Janelle's. And there's the address if people have a GPS and phone number you can call and find out. And that's my phone number and our internet, our poster flyer lady.
What I'll do is I'll take a picture of this and I'll actually post this this concert list on the KUR Facebook page. So if anybody wants to see this full list, just go to Kutztown University Radio's Facebook page and I'll post it in about a half hour. It'll be up there as of Tuesday afternoon. And Janelle's is very easy to find. It's on that road right between Topton and Lyons.
Topton, Fleetwood, Lyons Road, right.
You can't miss it.
And the little symbol on the bottom right corner is very important. It says Pennsylvania Council on the Arts.
Tell us about that.
So it's the state organization that does funding for all kinds of arts groups, arts in the broader sense, including music. And the local one is the Berks Arts Council. And for many, many years, we've gotten funding from them, and we really appreciate it. And sometimes we get funding from the Reading Musical Foundation also, which is a neat group. We've gotten closer and more involved with them for the last 2 or 3 years. So that's always appreciated also, because I'm always...
We all need money to survive, right?
I'm always amazed at the quality of the performers we can get for what we can afford to pay them. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have, folks that really care about what you guys do and help you out where needed. And like you said, having a little bit of support like that is always a huge help as well.
Right. And when we started out, it was tough getting performers. And most of the time, the audience is so interested and good and attentive that when they're there once, they want to come back again. And we've had some, performers who are nationally and internationally well known, and we're still working on stuff like that. So a lot of times we get lucky. We're on the path of a performer going from one place to another place, and the timing works out.
That's awesome. Okay, and it looks like your website is www.kfms.org, and I guess you have all of the concerts and stuff listed on there as well, too?
Yep, and it's a snazzy. She did a really good job this year. It's snazzy background, artsy, crafty type stuff. and probably a little bit more information also. And one of the reasons, well, many of the reasons we changed the site, the venue, is we have plenty of space. We have table and bench seating. There's a built-in stage, a built-in PA system, a bunch of microphones. He's going to serve good food because I've known him for years. Scott Gardner, he used to have the quality shop in Kutztown. And so it's be much more pleasant, fun experience. We're starting half an hour earlier because we have some older people that come and they don't like being out late, et cetera, et cetera.
That's a good idea.
Plenty of parking.
That's always a good thing as well, too.
Yep, you got it. So it's like a win-win, and everybody I've talked to so far is gung-ho about having it at the new venue.
Yeah, I think that's a great change for you. I mean, nothing against the church. I mean, that was good too. But I think the Janelle's Catering Hall, it'll be nice and open and airy for you. Plenty of room to play and enjoy. And yeah,
you got it.
So I think it'll be a great year for you. I'm really excited. And one more quick question, Keith. For anybody interested in folk music, do you guys, as a folk music society, take members that want to join, or how does that work?
Well, membership is for the season for the concerts. So
I got you.
We don't,
so that's how it works.
Yeah,
okay.
We don't teach or anything like that.
Right.
And we are, well, I myself am heavily involved, like I said, with Lions Fiddle Festival.
Right.
The neat thing about that is a sidebar, is that we have established reciprocity. I don't get to use that word very often, with many other organizations. And the first one was Kutztown University Presents.
That's right, yeah.
Right, so usually once a year we will have our champions from Lions be opening acts here. Mm-hmm. And then a few years ago we added Miller Center for the Arts in Reading. Mm-hmm. And then last year we added Burnside Plantation in Bethlehem, the Apple Days Festival. Mm-hmm. And then this year we added a new one, which I helped start, the Great Pennsylvania Music and Arts Festival.
Okay.
At the Allentown Fairgrounds on Memorial Day weekend. All kinds of arts, music, crafts, food, drink, so on and so forth. And we feature one oldies group. This year it was Bill Haley Jr. and the Comets. That was before your time.
Oh, I know who they are, though. I know who they are.
And they're almost local. They're from up in the coal regions. I didn't know that too.
I didn't realize that either, yeah.
So we're looking at another group for next year. I can't say because you never know how it works out. But
right.
The best thing about that is the entire 3-day series, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Memorial Day weekend, is free.
Oh, everybody's favorite word, free.
That's right. You got it. So anyway, next Memorial Day weekend, if you have nothing to do it in Allentown at the fairgrounds.
Awesome. We'll definitely look forward to that. Well, Keith, I want to thank you so much for being part of the show today. Keith Brintzenhoff, of course, from the Kutztown Folk Music Society. Again, I'll post this on our Kutztown University Radio Facebook page, and also you can just go to kfms.org as well, too, and get the full list there. And hope you guys have a great year.
Thank you. I do. When we had it at the church years ago after we started, we'd always get a bunch of college students because I don't know if you remember Charlie Scanzello, one professor.
So he would get them out there, yeah.
He would get them out there. He would give them class credit for coming to our concerts.
There you go.
But, when he stopped teaching, that dropped that. So I'm hoping we'll get some more college students. It's, if they have an ID, it's $5. Some of the best musicians you'll hear, and so on, and like 3 miles from here.
You can't beat it, like I said. Thank you so much, Keith. I hope to have you on again sometime soon.
Good.
All right. See you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.